Hey there, and welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Got a really cool video in the works here. Now, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I launched the SBR at long range, where we took an 11.5-inch SBR and stretched it out to almost 800 yards with pretty decent consistency. Since then, I launched the Instagram page at Mountains Mullets America, where I got several DMs from several of you saying, hey, it'd be really cool if you could take something like a general purpose type carbine and do the same thing. How far can we stretch it? So that's exactly what we're going to do here in this video. Now, the cool thing is, one of the partners on the channel, Madison Armament, when I told him what we were going to do, said, hey man, I can hook you up with a URGI clone upper, which we have here. And also they had already sent me a Vortex Razor 1 to 10. So I was able to put them together and put out this content that we're going to see today. So what are we going to do in the video? We're going to take this rifle. Again, it's a URGI clone upper. It's got an FN barrel in it. We've got the Vortex Razor 1 to 10. We've got my Surefire SOCOM 7.62 mini suppressor, and I've got my Knights SBR upper. Then we're going to take IMI 77 grain Razorcore ammunition. We're going to stretch it out, but kind of as a second thing, we're going to compare that to 55 grain full metal jacket. So for that, I've got Wolf Gold 55 grain full metal jacket ball. So not only are we going to see how far can we stretch kind of a general purpose battle rifle type package, but we're all going to see the impact of 55 grain versus 77 grain. Will the 55 grain hold its own, or is the 77 grain just going to dominate? So what do we have for targets? Well, if you can see behind me, I've got a couple pieces of steel set up out there. I've got a 2/3 Zipsic right at 400 yards. I've got a 2/3 Zipsic at 580 yards, and I've got a full-size Zipsic at 790. If we do pretty well on those, we'll try to push further. So fingers crossed. I really think that 77 grain is going to perform very well. The question for me is around the 55 grain. I've never really stretched it out. So if you enjoy this kind of content, please give this video a thumbs up, share the content, subscribe to the channel if you're really into it, because I've got more ideas just like this in the works. And if you've got ideas that you'd like to see me try to do, hit me up on Instagram. It's a great place for us to engage in conversation and talk through different things. Because again, that's exactly where this idea came from, is several viewers hitting me up on Instagram. So without further ado, let's stretch this rifle out and see what we can do. All right, first things first, let's get a look at what we're doing at 100 yards. So I'm going to shoot 5 rounds with the 77 grain on the bottom dot, and then we'll put 5 rounds with the 55 grain on the top dot. I've got the magneto speed running, so that should give us an idea of speed. It's worth noting the rifle is zeroed with the 77 grain without the magneto speed. So if we see a shift in 0, currently it's due to that magneto speed. The rifle is actually zeroed with the 77. So that said, let's send some rounds. All right, 77 on the bottom dot. Definitely Mirage going. All right, from what I'm seeing, there's a pretty solid group right there. About a half mil below the dot. So the magneto speed pushed my point of impact down. Velocity average 2646. Extreme spread of 30. SD of 11. So now let's load up 5 55 grain, do the same thing. All right, 5 rounds of 55 grain Wolf. We'll put that on the top dot and get a speed. All right. The point of impact is significantly low, but again, that's due to the magneto speed. Speed is average of 2920. SD of 12. Extreme spread of 28. So let's go down and take a look at the groups. All right, walking up to a 100-yard target so you can see the groups we just shot. So that bottom dot and bottom group was the 77 grain. It's about 1.25 inches. And then that top 5 rounds was at the top dot, and it's about 2 inches. So about par for the course for 55 and 77 grain. Again, the 77 was zeroed here, so the 55 is definitely hitting low. We'll adjust for that when we shoot. All right, guys, so I decided, because the magneto speed actually changed our point of impact as much as it did, to remove the magneto speed and shoot 5 more rounds of each ammo. So that's what I've done here. 5 rounds of the 77 grain without the magneto speed, 5 rounds of the Wolf without the magneto speed. So you can see the magneto speed pushed the point of impact of each round down. So now that I've shot 5 without, you can see I'm fairly zeroed with the 77 grain. The Wolf 55, when I shoot it, I'm gonna have to dial up 0.5 mils and left about 0.3 to get it to 0, and then make my distance holds from there. So now we've got speed, and I think a more accurate and fair representation of the accuracy. Again, about a 2-inch group, again, about an 1.25 inch group. All right, so we moved up on top of the hill. We've got our steel set out there. I've got the 55 grain rounds loaded up first. Before we shoot, I wanted to point out where the targets are. So currently, if we take a look to the Tacticam, there's a 2/3 IPSC right at 400 that I'm pointed at. There's a 2/3 IPSC up on the hill at 580 that I'm pointed at. And then there's a full-size IPSC out there at 790. That's going to be pretty challenging. If you take a look, I've got a piece of tape hung to show you the wind. Got a pretty gnarly headwind, probably from the 10 or 11 o'clock that we're going to be fighting with. So that's what we're going to be shooting to start with. I'm going to put 5 rounds on the 400 yard, 10 rounds on the 580 yard target, and then we'll reload, shoot the full size, and then we'll swap to the 77s. So we'll take our first shots with the 55 grain. I'll put 5 rounds on at 400, and then I'll put 10 rounds on at 580. The 400 yard target, we're going to hold 2.1 mils. And you see that wind flag is pushing directly at us. But here at my face, it's coming from about 11 o'clock. So I'm going to favor left edge. 2.1 left edge, 5 rounds. Off the left edge. Impact, right edge. Impact. 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 All right, that's 4 for 5. 400. This is going to be a challenge. So that's a 2/3 IPSC at 580. We're calling for 4.5 of elevation. I'm going to favor left 1 mil. 4.5, left 1 mil. See that wind flag pushing? Just off the right edge. So we'll increase our wind. Now, let's go to 2. Impact. Off the left edge. So let's cut that back to 1.5. Drop low. I'm going to cheat up. Impact. It's literally about 4.7 and 1.5. Off the right edge. Off the left edge. Impact. So 4.8. Drop low. Impact. 4 for 10 on that 2/3 dipstick. That's a challenge in this wind. We'll see how the 77 grain does. Now I'll load up 10. We'll go out here to 790. All right, now we're gonna go full size dipstick at 790. Shooter app is calling for 9 mils. Now the BC I'm not sure of. I just Googled a 55 grain projectile and put that in. So we'll see. You can see the wind flag is not pushing nearly as hard as the other. So let's go 9 mils, 1.5 to center. Got a light out there, so. Nothing. 9.5. Ooh, just low and right. Okay, I got it. So that was 9.5. So I need to go to 10 and 2 mils. Way low. So 11, 1.5. Way high. Let's go 10.5. Just off the right edge. So it looks like it's about 10 and 2. Off the left edge. 10 and 1.5. Drops low. So guys, you can see where this projectile is just falling apart. So I'm going to stick with 10 and 1.5. Drop low. 10.5. I mean, that's a huge target. Drop low again. So 11. 0 for 10 with the 55 grain at 800 yards. So I've reset my turrets to 0, put some 77 grain ammo in, and now we'll do the same course of fire. We'll do 5 rounds at 400, 10 rounds at 580, and then we'll move out and do 10 at 790. So first up is 400. And the shooter app is calling for 2.4. I'm going to favor left edge. Impact. 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 I think I've got one more. Impact. So 5 for 5 at 400. Now we'll do 580. That's calling for 4.8. So 4.8. And we'll go a mil to the left. That wind flag is pushing pretty hard. Impact, first round. impact. Those are a little bit low on the plate, so I'm going to come up to 5. Stay at a mil. Just over the head. Let's come back down. Impact. Off the right edge. Impact. 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 I wasn't keeping count, but I'd say the 77 grain's a little bit more consistent at 580. Next up, 790. So based on our performance at 580 with the 77 grain, I'm feeling pretty good about our chances at 790. I'm going to hold over 8.6 mils. According to the data the shooter app's giving me, this bullet's going subsonic at about 850. So we're right there at the edge of supersonic. Full size IPSC, 10 rounds. We're going to go 8.6 and 1 mil, 1.5 mils left. No call. Just off the left edge. So elevation looked decent. So let's go 8.5 and 1. Impact. Just below it. All right, wind call looks good. Impact. Impact. No call. Impact. 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 Wow. As you can see, the 77 grain is so much more consistent than the 55, all the way out to just shy of 800 yards. Call me crazy, but given that we went, I believe, 6 out of 10 out there at 790, I want to push that plate further. So I just pushed that full-size IPSC out to 1,040. We're going to shoot the 77 grain. Bullets at it, I got 10 rounds loaded up. According to the shooter app, I'm about 16.1 mils of elevation, so I'm going to dial 10 mils into the scope to get out there. So 1 full revolution. All right, there's 10. And now I'm going to hold over 6.1. I'm going to favor left 2 mils for the wind. It's died down a little bit, but that is super far. And we were going subsonic about 850 yards. So, all right, this is quite the shot for a 223. Full size IPSC. All right, so I'm going to go 2 mils. I'm going to put 6 in the head. I got a dirt berm behind the target, which is good because it should make a big dust splash. All right. Let's see if we can connect one. 10 rounds. Oh wow, way to the right. I don't know if you saw that. It's over there at about the 6. So I'm gonna hold whatever that is right there. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna put the 6 in the chest. I think that was low left. So I'm gonna go 7. Here we go. No call. Let's do the same again. Ooh, way up there, huh? The top of the dirt. Well, let's come back down to 6. No call. There we go. Why are those going over? So 6 seems to be about right. Or 16. Just over the head. Okay. Just below it. So we're in the ballpark with the wind. Impact. 1040. Let's see if we could do it again. Impact. Last 2 rounds, 1040 with a 14.5 inch shooting 77 grain. I'd say we're beyond the max effective distance, but that was fun. I don't know about you, but I am super impressed with the performance of this 14.5 inch URGI upper all the way out to 800 yards, and pretty cool that we stretched it even beyond that for a couple hits. Now, what did we see in this video as a summary? Well, I think what we saw was ammunition makes a huge difference in the performance of really any rifle. So the point of this video was to take a 14.5 inch general purpose carbine with an LPVO type optic on it, so kind of a carbine, maybe a DMR type package, and see how far out we can stretch this rifle. Now, what did we see out there? With that 55 grain Wolf Gold ammunition, 400 yards, we were making some decent hits. 600 yards, I believe we were 4 for 10, so we really saw that hit percentage drop off. At 800 yards, it was a disaster. We were beyond supersonic range and hits were all over the place, couldn't connect with the plate. So, my opinion, 600 is a stretch for the 55. Inside of that, it's probably decent for the kind of targets we were shooting. We swapped over to that 77 grain, and remember at 100 yards, that was just over an inch performer. It was something like maybe inch and a quarter. 400 yards, we were 100%. Out there at 580, we were almost 100%. We had a couple misses out there. At 790, just shy of 800, we went 6 for 10. So we had really, really good performance all the way out. We excelled in distances where the 55 was kind of falling on its face. So clearly, ammunition is what it takes to make a package like this shine, or the correct ammunition choice. We were even able to stretch this rifle all the way to 1,040 yards, which is way further than really anyone would think is reasonable for a package like this, but it was pretty cool to land a couple hits out there. So in summary, it was really cool being able to interact with several of you through Instagram who gave me the idea to do this. And then also for the partner channel, Madison Armament, to step up and loan me an upper, as well as this 1 to 10 LPVO. And I tell you what, this is an awesome package. I really, really love this. What a great general purpose rifle that you can see with the right ammunition is capable of very, very good performance. I'd say further than what most people think a package like this is capable of. Now that said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, comment. Really, it's your interaction that helps grow this channel. So also hit me up on Instagram, Mountains Mullets America, because again, it was conversation over there that led to this video. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned.